welcome to the Waffle podcast. This is episode 22. My name is Liz Ward and this is my podcast where I talk about all I have been making and creating in the past few weeks. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for all the new subscribers since last time. There's quite a few of you. That was a bit of a lovely surprise. And yes, again, I apologise. It's been a while since my last podcast. Things have been going on. On the last podcast I talked about being made redundant from my job. Sorry, Puka. Yeah, so I was made redundant from my job at Dutton's Buttons, which is a traditional haberdashery in the centre of York, just because they had to cut down the numbers of staff because of the current situation. I had been there 14 years, so it's a bit of an odd situation, bit sad, and at the same time probably ready to leave as well. But yeah, quite scary, the thought of finding a new job in the current situation. I've said that twice now. Yeah. I was incredibly lucky and I found another job relatively quickly. I think it was only about a month of looking and I found another job in retail. So I went for an interview on the Monday and was offered the job straight away, and I started work on the Wednesday and pretty much have been there since. I'm working more hours than I expected to be working, but it's okay. It's a nice job. It's a shop called Home Sense, which I think we have in the UK and the US. It's part of TK Maxx sort of company thing, but it sells all things homeware. It's a really lovely shop and it's a really nice team to work for, and I am enjoying it, but very tired and very little knitting time, crafting time in general. Yeah, so far it has been, I've been working like blocks of days together, and then the days I've had off I've just been like, I'm so sleepy. Puka has not liked being left alone. She has been, I got her just before the lockdown, hi Cal, and she is not used to being left at all, so being left for sort of a full 8 hours is, she's not a fan. I tend to come home to lots of things being broken. And it does look like she spent the day bounding off the walls, which definitely not fun. But yeah, it's just an adjustment and I will get used to it. I'm definitely not used to being on my feet for such long hours. But yeah, it's good. I have a new job, it's good news. Yes. So, it's been a while. There has been a few finished objects waiting to show you. Cal has just decided to sit on them. This is actually the box of work in progresses, but this is what I wanted to show you first, which is my mitered square blanket, which is finished. I'm not going to show you it first because it would be mean to move her. We'll go to this box of finished objects and I'll show you from here first. Okie dokie, so sock blocker time, and we'll start with a pair of finished socks because this is my podcast and I like having lots of finished socks. Did Puka just fly in front of the screen because she's just gone up to the window to be with Cal? Okay. So these are a little bit baggy for these sock blockers, but we'll go with it because I don't know where my other ones are. I think they're downstairs. And I was working on these in the last podcast and they are finished. This is the double rainbow self-striping colourway from Liz, who's the Yarn Badger. And it's one of her newest colourways and I saw it and absolutely loved it. Can I get those all in so that you can see them? Isn't it absolutely beautiful? So the whole striping pattern is this leg is the whole repeat. So each colour has like a brighter tone and a darker tone. It's just absolutely stunning. And this, I put in, what heels did I do? I did short row heels, so I put them in as I was working the socks, so not afterthought. I seem to be doing a lot of socks with afterthought heels, that's why I'm slightly confused. And this yarn is, I'm pretty sure it's one I dyed up and I think it's on a yak sock base, which has that sort of slightly darker colour to begin with, so that any colour you put on it has a really nice muted tone, and it just seemed to work perfectly in this sort of rainbow sock. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of the Yarn Badgers yarn, as I've mentioned many times, and I absolutely love these socks. They are matching. That's not something I normally feel I have to go for with socks, but it just so happened this way with these that it just made a sort of perfect matching pair, and they are very jolly and lovely. Very nice. Mum is definitely after these, but these are from me. But there is enough left from the 100g skeins to make another pair. It might have to have contrast heels and toes, which this one doesn't, but there is definitely enough left in 100g to get another pair of stripy socks for my mum, which I'm sure she'll be very happy with. Okay, moving on to finished object number 2. And it is my harvest cardigan. Oh, I've just seen there's another pair of finished socks in here, but I completely forgot about. This is my harvest cardigan. It is a pattern by Tin Can Knits, and what I decided to do was use a magic knot ball of all my scraps held together with a grey fingering weight 4-ply alpaca. I think it was a drops one, so cheap and cheerful but lovely, and I've held them together to make this cardigan. It's worked from the top down. You do this garter stitch bit first, technical. Yeah, you do this sort of neckband part first, and then you just carry on knitting, not in the round, it's a cardigan, what am I talking about? It is knit flat, but I knit it in circulars, but it's worked from the top down as if it was in the round, but you're working back and forth. And there are lots of ends on this, but that is mainly the magic knot ball, but I don't mind them. I've sewn in all the big ends. It isn't blocked. I probably will block it. It's just got garter. Sorry about the kittens. They are having a bit of a Barney. Yeah, it's just got garter at the cuffs and at the hem at the bottom, nice big bit at the bottom. And yeah, it's just lovely. It's super soft with the alpaca. It's a riot of colour, as you can see, but muted so that it's nice and subtle with the grey. So yeah, this is a mild project. I did make this and did finish it just in time to go into the Stranded Podcast's Marl Along. I will pop it on so you can have a look, although I don't know how good I will do at that. Yeah, so it's just got garter panels down the front. You can't really see how long it is. Woohoo! Yeah, it's got no fastenings, it's just, you could have a clip on it if you really wanted. But yeah, sleeve length is nice. And it just covers my bum. Yeah, first time ever making a cardigan. Very, very simple pattern. It's not itchy, but then I don't think I really get affected by itchy fibres that much. So that's my harvest cardigan. I absolutely love it. Yeah. I have a feeling that all the little ends that keep poking out will probably sort of felt themselves in after time, so after a few wears and a few washes I will maybe just snip those and see how it goes with it. But yeah, I really love this. I think I'm probably going to make another. Mum has already requested one, as we can expect. Cal's now moved boxes to the other work in progress box. Thank you, Cal. So I can show you my mitered square blanket. We'll keep this on for a mo. I think in the last episode, I can't remember if I'd finished it or if I had still had a few squares to go and then doing the border. But it is completely finished now. One mo while I sort out the sun. Sorry about that cut there. The bin men have arrived. You may be able to hear them slightly in the background. Hopefully that isn't too annoying. I kind of want to get on with this podcast because I fear that if I stall I won't get one recorded this week as well. And I feel bad when I don't record a podcast, and also I feel like my projects mount up a little bit. So doing a podcast is kind of nice because I get to sweep the decks in a way and be like, oh, what am I working on now? It's quite good fun. And also it means I can use my finished objects. But yes, I was talking about my mitered square blanket now that Cat said. I obviously know what I'm doing. Socks on the floor. Yes, I can't remember if this was finished last time and just waiting for a border, or if I still had a few squares to go. But it is now completely finished. Every single end is woven in and the border is complete. I was a bit not sure what border I wanted to do. Let me bring you back a bit. Yeah, I was really undecided as to what sort of border to do. I was thinking of maybe doing like a log cabin style, which is sort of where you pick up one edge and knit out for a bit and then pick up another edge and knit out for a bit and then all the way around. But I did a I-cord edging on my jigsaw, which I will show you when Cal moves, which is also finished. And yeah, it took a while, and but I didn't hate doing it. I'd never done an I-cord edging in that way before, where you pick up all the stitches and whatnot, but I didn't hate it. It was quite relaxing, just quite meditative, repeating, whatnot. And so I decided to do an I-cord edging on my 2 metre square mitered squared blanket. First up, I had to pick up the stitches all the way around, and so every single cable I have in my interchangeable cable set got joined together, and this whole thing got somehow hoofed onto the needles. I think it took 3 days to do the edging, but I mean, it's really pretty. Just a very simple finished edge. I'll show that. And yeah, this is finished. Hopefully editing Liz will, sorry for wobbles, will put in a picture of it on my bed so you can see how large it is. But yeah, this is my finished mitered square blanket. Knit in, well, it was started on the 26th of December last year and it was finished at the start of August. So 7 months for a huge blanket, probably with the help of a global pandemic, so I wouldn't recommend going that fast, but I love it. I've already started another one and I'll be showing you that soon. Yeah, absolutely love that. Sorry for all the background noise. Binmen and Puka is running about like a mad thing. I'm just trying to show you different sides of this. But yeah, I'll scrunch it up and put it over there. And Puka will probably go and sit on it. Now, Cal, I am going to have to move you, I think. Oh, hang on, can I sneak out these socks without moving you? I can. Right, after a little bit of faffing with the sock blockers, these are another pair of the Rainbow Connection socks, which is a pattern by Kay Linton, who is the crazy sock lady. And I am pretty much obsessed with this pattern at the moment. It uses a combination of a slip stitch design on the front and just knitting stripes on the back to give you this design that flows vertically on the front and horizontally on the back. Nearly got that the wrong way around. And it's just so much fun. It's great to use with self-striping yarn, although I haven't done that yet. I've been using minis. The first set I did, the first pair of these I did in the Kingfisher minis by Rhapsody yarn, and this set is in the Retro Sweets collection by Siobhan's Crafts. I got this collection for my mitered square blanket, but there was enough left over from a set of 10 gram minis to make these socks, and there is about 4 grams left of every colour, which is pretty amazing really, out of 10 grams. It's the yellow is a Cascade Heritage. If I can find the number, I'll put it on the screen. And yeah, I think these are a gift knit socks, probably for one of my sisters, but they're really cute and I absolutely love them. They're just so bright and cheerful. If I get a close-up of that slip stitch pattern, you can see it. Aren't they fun? So yeah, 2 pairs of finished socks. And I don't think we've reached the end of the finished objects box, but I am going to have to move Cal. See if I can put her on the sofa without her being too grumpy about it. You gonna go there, babe? Thank you, darling. Can I just get that? And then you can go back if you want to. Hang on. Whoops. Wait, let me take that out because I need to talk about that. And that out because I need to talk about that. And then... there you go. And after all that, she goes back to the sofa. Okay. Oh, it's nice and warm where she's been sat on it. This is my jig shawl, which is a pattern by Stephen West. It is a huge shawl, knit to a DK weight, but what you're actually doing is holding 2 4-ply fingering weight yarns together, and you knit it in all these little pieces, but you are joining as you go, and somehow they all form together to form words. Join together to form this big triangular shawl. Last time I showed it, it was finished bar the border. I think I'm showing it the wrong way around there. Really good. Yeah, this is it the right way around, but also showing how neat the back is. This is it the right way around. Puka is getting... Can you see paws getting at me there? No, you can't. You can just see paws. Yeah, so I have now finished the I-cord border, which you can see. Wobbly camera because of Puka. Yeah, so it is completely finished. Again, I haven't blocked this. Mainly because it's squishy and lovely as it is, and the shape doesn't really need any changing. It's all laying lovely and flat, and with it being squishy garter, it might not need blocking. Also, it's just going to be huge when I block it, so maybe I won't. But yeah, I love it. I was able to use up some scraps and some yarn that has been hanging around for ages. There are little bits where there's some mohair in there, held double as well. And the mohair is all the same colour that I've used throughout. It's just because it's a gradient and I've held it with light and dark yarns, it looks different. You can see the gradient in this section quite well. It's kind of cute. I really like it. So yeah, I've talked about the process of this quite a lot in previous podcasts, but it is finished. My jig shawl. And I think we're probably coming up to the latest mystery shawl along by Stephen West, which I joined in with mixed results last year. I haven't decided whether I'll be joining in this year. I will probably see what the description of the shawl is going to be. And what my work schedule is going to be as to whether I'll have time to sort of keep up with podcasts during the shawl along. But yeah, it would be nice to join in again. I really enjoyed it last time, apart from the mild disasters. If you want to go back to see any of my Starflake shawls last year, they were entertaining. I learnt a lot. I definitely learnt a lot. I feel like I came out of it a much better knitter than I went into it. Are you alright, Cal? Okay. Right, just because it's to hand, just sort of here, I will show you my final finished object, which is actually a crochet object. I'll put a picture of it on the screen because it's a bit too delicate to actually carry up, and also it's a dangly plant holder and it's got a dangly plant in that my cats will chew if I bring it anywhere near them. Yeah, I crocheted a little plant holder for a lovely trading plant to have. I don't know what type of plant it is. Sorry, the light's coming and going. It's a very funny day today. overcast with a bit of bright spells. So I keep going from nicely lit to ghastly pale. Yeah, not a lot I can do about that, I apologise. But yes, I made this plant holder, and yeah, it's really nice. It's really simple design. I do have another one which I'm currently working on, so I can kind of show you how I did it. I might end up putting this up as a free pattern. The one that I'm working on, so I can kind of show you how it works. Words are good today. Okay, so this is just a circle of treble crochets, or double crochets if you're in America. And I think I started off with 12, and then I just increased by 12 stitches every round until it was the size of the base of the plant pot. And then I just started chaining into that circle. On the first round I was missing every alternate stitch. I think I was chaining 4 or 5. And then I spiraled up with that chain, keeping going, and you get this lovely effect. And you just keep going until it is as tall as the plant pot, and you kind of have to stretch it out for that, because when a plant is in, it's going to be a lot heavier, so you kind of have to stretch it out to know when it's going to be big enough. And then when it got to the size I wanted it to be, I just did some really long chains to hang it, and that was all. Simple. Simple, simple. And I'm just using a yarn and colours, let me get that so you can actually see it, a yarn and colours, and this is a 4-ply fingering weight pure cotton, and it's the colour number 3, which is ecru. Just a really nice neutral, which I think goes well with plants. And as you can see by the picture that I put up, it's in a terracotta pot and it's hanging up there. And it is recovering from Puka's care and attention, shall we say. Oh, Puka, what are we going to do with you? Come here. Oh, Cal, hi. Hey, Bubba. Who loves you? I love you. Okay, so before Cal sits on the basket with the works in progress in, I think I better start talking about the works in progress. It's not that many to talk about. Yeah, knitting time has reduced slightly, so not that many works in progress to talk about. Mainly they are socks. Although this pair is nearly finished, it just needs heels put in. So let me show you these individually. Look at that, isn't it so pretty? This is another mini set by Siobhan's Craft, and it's a set called Opposites Attract. And it starts with this very pale neon speckled and goes to almost a black with these flashes of neon rainbow. And again, I got this for my mitered square blanket, but in the back of my head I always wanted to make a pair of socks with this set, just because I love the way it goes together. It's just so nice. And what I've actually done is I have done a fade pair of socks. So I've started with an undyed yarn, and then I've used the first of the minis, and then I've faded it into the second, and so on to the end where I have done a black toe. And I will at some point, hopefully soon, excuse me, I've got fluff. It's probably from the mohair on my jigsaw. Yeah, so I will cut in and do a true afterthought heel in the sort of grey section there, and add in a grey heel. I think I've got the grey here. Yeah, so that will go in as a heel there. And I did one of these and put it up on Instagram, and I asked the question whether I should make the second one the same. Whether I should make the second one the same or opposite, and pretty much everybody decided opposite, so that's exactly what I did. So you can see the pair there. Aren't they absolutely fabulous? And obviously they'll both have the grey heeling, and these should be finished by next time. And hopefully I will write this up as a pattern. I'm not making any promises about this because obviously I have no idea what's going on with my work schedule and whatnot, but it will come out as a pattern. It will come out as a free pattern, and that is to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of this podcast, because we have just turned 1. So yeah, the Opposites Attract fade socks will be up as a free pattern at some point. I will let you all know when. It will be free. But yeah, I think that's quite good fun because I used the helical method while doing the fading bits. So I think there's some interesting techniques. And obviously with the True Afterthought heel, I think it'll make a nice free pattern for people to play with. So yeah, that's one of my works in progress, nearly finished. And it's a new pattern, which will be fun. What else have I got to show you? Okay. There's no... so, there is no order to these. I'm just going through what's in the box I'm working on as I find it. And so this one is my new mitered square blanket. So I knit a square on my blanket every morning, and I have done since I started that blanket. I only missed one day. It has become so much of a routine that as soon as I knit the last square on that blanket, I cast on another one. This one I am not alternating with the grey squares, I'm just going for colour. And yeah, I'm nearly at 36 squares after about a month of this one being on the needles. I'm also probably not going to do any playing around with the decrease ridge on this one. I think I'm just going to keep it all lovely and simple. So yeah, it's about the size of a nice size cushion at the moment. And it's just my daily project that I work on. I'm trying not to be too fussy with colours, but you can see I've tried to put some colours that go together. I was definitely having a play around with greens and oranges in this corner. I have a bit of a thing about green and orange. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of not restrict myself and restrict myself at the same time. So yeah, at the end of the day, when it's a huge blanket, you're not going to really notice the colour play. It will just look quite random. So I sort of have to stop myself from rummaging in the box of minis for 10 minutes to find the next one and just pick one at random. But yeah, it's nice having a bit of colour play in it. So yeah, I love this project. Yeah, I love this project. I have a feeling I will probably now have some blanket or other on the needles until the end of time. And in 10 years time, when there are so many blankets, people will like, stop making blankets now. But no, it's my routine now. I will knit a square every morning. Okay, I have boring socks for you. They're not that boring. These are knit out of a Zauber ball, which is looking very, very messy. And as I was saying about my love of greens and oranges at the moment, I was very, very excited to play with this one because it looks all greens and oranges. And I cast this on for my mum to have a play at doing magic loop. But because I had no round and round knitting, I ended up coming with me to work, and this is what I've been working on during my lunch break. So I get an hour for lunch and I have already knit one sock tube. So this doesn't have a heel in yet, because I was just knitting on it. And actually on the screen this looks quite lovely, but in person it looks quite dull and muddy. So yes, just a little bit boring. But I don't know, I'm liking it more now I'm seeing it on screen. I'm like, I can't really complain about that because that looks lovely there. But yeah, it's just, maybe it's just been a bit of a dull knit, or yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't moan. It's nice enough. But yeah, this is the second one. Again, I've just been taking it to work. That was 1 week of lunch breaks and bits when I'd finished work, and this has been this week's. Yeah. Zauberball is a fractal plied yarn, so you get areas where they sort of barber pole together and areas where they are more one colour, and so you get, what it is it's two massive long gradients of yarn that are then twisted together, and this is the sort of effect you get. You get a very similar effect with hand spun yarn, and I do really like Zauberballs. It's just, I was more excited about this in the ball of yarn than I am about the socks. But it's something to keep me knitting. And knitting in a new job is very interesting. I was not going to hide the fact that I'm a knitter. I was literally on my first lunch break, I was in the staff room with other people knitting, out and proud, and got all the usual, "Ooh, do you knit?" Yes, yes I do. Yeah, all the usual comments you can expect of non-knitters when they see you knitting. But it's been lovely, and yes, there are definitely a lot of knitting appreciative people rather than knitters there, and also quite a few requests for crafty items already, some of which I'm quite excited about and we'll be talking about on other projects. I've also found homes for some knitted things that I had in stash that weren't fitting me or weren't right for me, so my beret from a long time back that didn't fit my head but never quite got on the wall, has now found a very happy home with a lovely lady I work with who does sort of 1940s, 1950s nostalgia costume wearing and dancing and all that sort of thing. She was over the moon with the beret, and she wants a little Fair Isle type top, sort of 1940s style, and I was like, I would very much like to knit that. How cute would that be? All colour work and little cap sleeves. Ooh, yes, yes, not the type of thing I could wear, personally, because it's just my shape, but she's so petite and, oh, yes, I happily knit you that. Right, sorry, going off on one. When there's more socks to show you. Yes, so on the last podcast I showed you this beautiful yarn by Hedgerow Yarns, and I said that I was going to be caking it up while I was editing, and I did. And this one got cast on. I did also cake up the Industrial Kingfisher by Stranded Dye Works. That has not been cast on. However, there has been, I think a couple of squares of it has gone into blankets. Ooh, where are you? Yeah. That is the Industrial Kingfisher there. And I did manage to get one into this blanket, so I definitely hadn't finished it on the last podcast. There you go, I remember. This is the Blueberry Waffle pattern. All the details will be on the screen. It is a free pattern, and it is a broken rib pattern, which I didn't think I'd enjoy. I'm not a massive fan of doing rib. It tends to be something I have to get through to get onto the bit I enjoy about knitting a sock. Sorry, I might have just sitting on my foot and my foot's gone to sleep, so if I've got a bit lower, that's why. But yeah, this is a tweedy sock base. It's so beautiful. And I have put in a contrast heel in a very dark navy. This is another mini that I dyed up. Actually, I don't think it was a mini, I think it was 100 grams, because I'm fairly sure there's quite a lot of it in my Jigsaw. But yeah, it's just a really nice tonal navy. And I am onto the toe. I've done all the way down the foot, and I'm onto the toe. I might do a few more rows before I do the toe, just because I'm still undecided about foot length. I seem to never get it right. I thought I had it cracked. I thought it was 60 rows for the foot of my sock. But those Kingfisher Rainbow Connection ones I did last time do not fit my mum. They do a push. She'll wear them. She's absolutely fine with them. But they're not sitting completely right. So yeah, maybe 60 rows isn't enough and I need to do a few more. So, but these will be for me. And yeah, I love them. If I don't mention, because I don't think I have this time, I work all my socks magic loop at the moment. I'm using Knit Pro Novas, I think they are, in 2.25 millimeters. These are fairly economical needles. I've tried so many different needles that these have turned out to be my favourite. They are not sharp at all, and I do stab myself with needle points when they are too sharp. The cable is fine. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's fine. They are incredibly light, which is good, and they are incredibly smooth and fast, because I like to knit socks fast. So yeah, what I experimented for ages. I've tried loads of different sock needles, and in the end I discovered these were my favourites, so I did just buy a few pairs off eBay, and so that I can have more than one sock project on the go, because nothing stalls my knitting more than not wanting to pick up that project and not having another project to pick up that I do want to play with, because then I just won't knit. So yeah, that is why I have multiple pairs of the same needle. I think at last count I had 5 pairs of those needles, but the seller on eBay was doing a discount if you bought 3, so I have excuses. I have excuses. What else is in here? Final work in progress. I think I need a sock blocker again. You are being good today, Cal. Puka's not really shown much interest at all in being here, other than fighting with you at the beginning. You alright? Okay, so another bright one. Wow, these are bright, and the sun's just hitting that right there. I think we might just have to live with that bit of sunshine. Wait up, no, we don't have to live with that sunshine. Right, back again. Another bright one. These are the Traffic Island socks. So I'm fairly sure I had this one finished on the last podcast, but I might be wrong. And these are knit in a Guardians of the Galaxy themed yarn. I know it was named after one of the songs, but I can never remember what it was. And it's by Rhapsody yarn. And it is a micro striping yarn. And micro striping can pool, so I decided to pick a pattern that had pick a pattern that had a bit of pattern in it. That is definitely not easy to say. Yeah, that had a bit of texture, a bit of design to it rather than being plain, and that way hopefully it wouldn't pool quite so badly as it has done in other socks. I'm talking about you, purple, awful poolly socks. Yeah, it hasn't pooled. They look really nice. And I've picked out the neon yellow and used a Soxier, a coupe knit Soxier in bright neon yellow for the heel and the toe, and I think these are smashing. I have only done the pattern on the front of the sock. I have left the back plain. That was something that I picked up from the Rainbow Connection socks. I really enjoyed seeing the sock plain on the back and doing the patterning on the front. It also gives you a rest, because with this design, this again is another free pattern. Yeah, with this it means that if you're working on Magic Loop, and I don't know if you're like me, sorry about the cats, stop it, come here. Puka. Sit there and be a good girl. Sit down. Sit down. Yeah, back to it. I don't know if you're like me, but in my head, if I'm working Magic Loop, I count every needle as like, not a row, not in pattern row, but as like 1, like 1, 2, 1, 2. This makes no sense. Okay. Yeah, so I have a weird way of thinking about socks when I'm working them on Magic Loop, because obviously you've got needle 1 and needle 2. And so, like, with this pattern, you only pattern on the front, so like needle 1 of every other row. That's a weird way of saying it, and kind of double jointed. So in a way, you've got like 3 needles worth of plain knitting and 1 needle of pattern, and then you just repeat that. And it just makes it kind of flow really nicely. And obviously this pattern is super easy as well. Really nice. I will be using this again for other yarn that I have like this sort of micro striping yarn, or yarns with yarn with like flashes of colour in, and mainly one. Sorry for the wobbling, the cats are just everywhere today. But yeah, so that was one finished, and I think that one was finished last time. And here's where I am on the second sock. Let me just give you a close-up of this yarn. With the background noise of a grumbly cow. Yeah, close-up of the yarn. It's lovely. Bright neon yellow and purples and blues, and then a lovely charcoal. And yeah, this is sock 2. You can see that front design better when it's flat like that. It's like a chevron. Sorry, that's a grumbly cow that you're hearing. And I have put the toe in on this one. It's the same heel that I did on the double rainbow socks. It's the short row heel, which will be in an upcoming pattern of mine if you want to try that one out yourself. But it's very simple, just uses yarn overs rather than wraps and turns and things like that. So that is it for works in progress. And that is pretty much it for this podcast. It might be a little bit shorter this week, but we'll live with that. I do have one acquisition to show you. It's very special, but it's just one, but it's special. And it's one that I've been waiting for. Now, regular viewers of this podcast will know I have a love affair with many yarn dyers. But one of the dyers who does one of my favourite yarns is Black Elephant Yarns. And a while ago she showed this yarn, which is her Silver Linings colourway. And I was just like, yes please. But I wasn't able to get it at the time. But she has put it on to her shop as a pre-order. So I pre-ordered it, had to wait a while before it arrived, but good things are worth the wait. And look at this beauty. I am going to let you get all in there. So this is going to be a very special pair of socks for me. But yeah, Black Elephant in the Silver Linings colourway. It's a lovely feel. So I was distracted by Puka trying to climb my dress form Miranda. Bless her, poor girl. So yeah, that really is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching and coming back every time, all those that do. Please subscribe if you are not already a subscriber. Those subscribers are creeping up. It would be nice to get to 1,000 just so that I can open the community tab on YouTube and let you guys know when my next podcast will be coming out, just because my schedule will be a little bit ad hoc for a while. Yeah, it seems to be I'm working Wednesdays, which used to be my recording day, but it will settle down. I will get used to it. Podcasts will still be coming out, hopefully with some regularity, but yeah, honestly, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, leave your comments, subscribe. It's always lovely to get all the interaction on this. It just completely makes my day. And you always come up with such amazing pattern ideas. I get such good recommendations and I want to cast everything on. So good. But I have less knitting time now. But having a job is a good thing. I keep telling myself that when my feet are so tired and I get home and all I can do is sleep. But yes, it's a good thing. So yeah, I shall clear up this pile of knitting and go and edit, and I will see you in a few weeks. Take care, friends. Bye!